Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited about today's video. I have been wanting to do this for so long and I just kept putting it off, and now I'm finally getting around to it. So today I'm going to be making foods from scratch that I would normally buy packaged. So I have 3 things I'm gonna make today. I'm making a Mactella, which the recipe actually comes from Earthy Andy's Plant Over Processed book. I'm going to be making an oat milk, and then I'm also going to be making a garlic hummus. Woo! So as you can see, I've got pretty much everything out here. I've got my food processor, and then I have my Vitamix blender over here. For the Mactella, I've got my macadamia nuts and the chocolate that I'm going to be using. And then for the oat milk, I've just got oats, I've got some dates and some vanilla, and then I'll also just need some water for that, and a cotton t-shirt. I haven't been eating oats very much lately, and I have a huge box of them that I just keep pouring into this little container because I bought a huge thing at a Sam's Club, and then I just haven't been eating oats that much lately, so I haven't been going through them, and I didn't want them to go bad. So that's kind of what helped finally inspire today's video and get me to actually do this, because I didn't want all my oats to go bad and go stale. So I decided I would just make some oat milk, and then I could have that with coffee or tea or whatever. And then lastly, you might be able to see the pot on the stove over there, and that is my chickpeas. I bought the dried chickpeas from the store, so they have to soak, and I forgot to soak them overnight, so I'm doing a quick soak where you just pop them on, get them boiling for a couple minutes, and then just let them sit in that water for about an hour. Hopefully once we're done making all of this, those should be done. They've already been soaking for about 30 minutes, and then we can use that for the hummus. All right, so let's start with, let's see, which one should we do first? I think I'm gonna do the oat milk first, and then we'll do the Mactella, and then we'll get to the hummus once the beans are ready. So I've got the Vitamix for this, the oats, and then you don't need to put anything in oat milk, but I'm going to add a medjool date and just a little bit of vanilla just to give it some flavor. And then let me just pull up some measurements just to make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, so the measurements I'm using are from Minimalist Baker. It says to use 1 cup of oats and 3 to 4 cups of water, and it gives 8 half-cup servings. And it also says only to blend it for 30 seconds to a minute to make sure you're not over blending it. I guess it can get a slimy texture if you over blend, so we'll stick to like 30-45 seconds probably. All right, so I'm adding my water, and I'm just going with about 3.5 cups of water since it said 3 to 4. And then I'm adding 1 cup of oats. And it also says to add a pinch of salt, so I'm just gonna crack some salt in there. And like I said before, I'm adding a dash of vanilla. And then I'm just breaking up 1 medjool date to add in as well. Then just add the lid on. And it did say to put a towel on top of this in case it splashes, but I think I'm just gonna go for it. All right, so now I'm just gonna pop it on. All right, I left it on for about 40 seconds and this is how it's looking. You can see it's all liquidy. So now I'm going to strain it through a t-shirt into a bowl, and I'll probably strain it through it twice, and then it's all done, ready to go in the fridge and give it a taste. All right, I've got a bowl and a t-shirt. Not entirely sure how to do this. I probably should have looked it up. But I'm just gonna put the t-shirt over and put it in the bowl a little bit, and then I guess just pour the milk through. All right, here we go. Pour it all in. And then pick the t-shirt up and like squeeze it in. Oh no, this seems like a terrible idea. Oh, this feels so wrong. This is the strangest feeling. All right, I finished squeezing it out. This is what's left in the shirt, so all the oats. And here is the milk. All right, I got my t-shirt rinsed out. My hands are all washed up. That was absolutely one of the strangest feelings I've ever felt. I don't really know how I feel about that, but I got the milk, I guess. Let's see. So I'm just gonna transfer this from this bowl into this glass jar and then put it in the fridge. I don't really want to try it right now until it's cold. So I'm just gonna grab this funnel and funnel it into the jar. Hopefully this works. It looks pretty thick. So maybe I should add more water if I do this next time. All right, so here's the oat milk, finished product, and I will test it on camera for you guys once it's cold. So I got a little over 3 cups of milk, and I only put in 3.5 cups of water, so it makes sense. I probably should have put the full 4 cups because this is pretty thick. I also only strained it through the t-shirt one time because it took too long and I have somewhere to be in a little bit. So if I did it again, I would probably strain it twice because I can see a little bit of stuff on the sides, but I'm not gonna be drinking this straight out of a glass. It's gonna be more for coffee and stuff, so I think it's gonna be fine. You smell it. It smells really good, actually. It smells like oatmeal. But all right, so I will test this one out later. And then right now, let's make the Mactella. All right, so this one should be a little bit quicker. It's super simple. All I have to do is add the macadamia nuts into my food processor and process it for about a minute until it turns to macadamia butter. And then I'm just gonna heat the chocolate I have in a saucepan, and once it's melted, you just mix them together and you're all done. All right, so we'll just add the macadamia nuts in. And then we're just going to put it on high, and it's probably gonna be very loud. Okay, that was super loud. I really hope my neighbors don't hate me right now. But if I can get this off. We have macadamia butter. So now we just have to melt the chocolate chips and then mix them together, and we're done. All right, I've got the pan over low heat. I'm just gonna add my chocolate. And then once this starts to melt, I will just stir it until it's all done. Okay, so the chocolate is done, it's melted. So I'm just gonna take the macadamia butter and mix it into this and then put them all in a jar. All right, it's all mixed up, and I'm just gonna transfer it to this glass jar so I can store it. All right, and here we have our Mactella. So not that much, but if I was able to make the full recipe, it pretty much would have filled this jar. So, but now it's time to give it a taste. I have not tried it yet altogether. So I have some left on the spoon. I'm just gonna try this. It's not as creamy of a texture as like Nutella. It's definitely a little bit chunkier, but that also could be because I felt really bad that the food processor was so loud, so I didn't do it for that long. So it has a little bit of grittiness to it, but chocolate and nuts, like you just can't go wrong with that. So this is really good. So now we are gonna do the hummus. I'm just gonna throw everything into my food processor and hopefully we'll have some good hummus. For this hummus, I'm using my chickpeas, which have now been soaked. I'm going to use 1 lemon, a clove of garlic, some cumin, some sea salt, and some olive oil. All right, I've got my lemon in half and my garlic is just minced. I don't know if you can see it. So we're gonna start by putting 1.5 cups of chickpeas into the food processor. And then I'm just gonna use my little lemon squeezer to squeeze the lemon juice in. And then I'll add the minced garlic in there. 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. 1 and 2. And then we'll just add a little salt to taste. Okay, and then 1/2 teaspoon of the cumin. And then I'll just blend this up, and it says to add water as needed. So it says you'll likely need 2 to 3 tablespoons to get it the consistency of hummus and not quite as thick. All right, so now to make my neighbors mad again. So again, honestly, this probably isn't as creamy as it's supposed to be, but I was getting very self-conscious of the loud noise that this was making and that all my neighbors could probably hear it. This thing is so loud. So I did it for a while, but it just needed to be done. It was making way too much noise. So this is what we've got. And I'm going to try it out, get some cucumber out, and see how it tastes. All right, I've got my couple slices of cucumber. Sorry about the lighting. Hopefully I can fix it with editing. The lighting in my kitchen is so weird. It's so red, especially at this time of day. The sun's starting to go down and it just looks so weird. But anyways, let's give this a try. So it definitely has much more texture to it than regular hummus does. Okay, I don't hate it. The flavor is really nice, but it does have a texture to it. It's definitely not creamy. The recipe called for tahini and I didn't have any, and they said that that's part of how it gets creamy is the tahini and the lemon mixing together. Yeah, it's definitely pretty gritty, but the flavor is very nice, so I still give it a thumbs up. Honestly, this was so fun making all this stuff from scratch at home. I really enjoyed this, and honestly, everything tastes good. Oh, I almost forgot to do the tasting of the oat milk, actually. Let me grab that out of the fridge. All right, here's the oat milk. It looks like it's separating the water out a little bit. I don't know if that's supposed to happen. I'm just gonna shake it up, I guess. All right, so there it is. It's definitely cold now, so let me get a glass, and we'll try this one out. I'm just gonna pour it in this little espresso cup because I only want a little bit. actually a little scared for this one. I don't know why. Like, it's literally just oats. So I don't know why I'm like sketched out by it. But yeah, it's thick. But that's honestly good for coffee, to use it as like a creamer. Okay, yeah, so it's very thick, but it actually tastes really good. Definitely recommend like the vanilla and a date, because if it didn't have that, it would be very bland. It's actually pretty good though. I actually enjoy this. I think this is gonna be perfect for coffees. Sorry, I know there's lines across my face now. But yes, I think this video was so fun and honestly such a success. And I'm pretty pumped that I know how to make my own milks now and hummus and spreads. I tend not to make them too often because I always think it's a lot of work, but I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm sure that I could just use my Vitamix to make hummus and stuff rather than the food processor, so it won't be quite as loud. So I'll have to try and make it again and try it in the blender, because the Vitamix blenders are pretty quiet. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did. I probably enjoyed it more because I actually get to eat the food. And let me know if there's anything else you guys like to make from scratch that you think I should try out. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.